Hey Cancer, welcome to your February 2021 personal growth and spiritual growth lesson for the month ahead. So let's dive straight into the reading, shall we? So yours is definitely, it's more of a month of growth in personal relationships and in the love area of your life. Love meaning interpersonal, just with other people in general. That can include a lover. But it's kind of like you're leaving behind the days of your relationship where you used to rely more on your intuition, where you used to like spend a lot of time thinking about the other person and a lot of time what would they want, and you try to like intuitively gather all that information. Like you're kind of starting to recognize that like is a skill of yours that you have, but you want to like leave that behind as you move into the 10 of cups energy, which is where you're starting to recognize the value of having a live conversation with the other person, of asking them like, hey, I noticed that you're not coming by as much as you used to. Is there a reason why? Can I make you feel more comfortable here? Instead of the old you would be tapping into, why aren't they coming over? Why aren't they coming over? And you would try to fix the problem without having a conversation with them. But it's not leading you to the full intimacy that you want. Does it solve the problem? Yes. But it leaves a little bit of a feeling of relationships like a burden, a little bit of them feeling like, oh, I have to constantly intuitively check in to see what's going on. Whereas instead, it's just, can you focus on how you feel? And it might be, hey, I don't like that they're not hanging out as much as they used to. I'm going to talk to them about that. Hey, I'd love to be hanging out more. What do you think about that? Because maybe they're just waiting for an invitation to come over and hang out more, or maybe there is a genuine reason why they're not coming over. Like maybe they're like, oh, when you sleep at night, this keeps me up and I don't get a good night's sleep, and then I don't do well at work the next day. Right now, you actually have the problem that you can solve that creates intimacy. Two people coming together to solve a problem. Experiential intimacy. There's different types of intimacy. There's physical. There's sexual. There's emotional intimacy, there's spiritual intimacy, there's also experiential intimacy, for those of you who want to go Google that. And that's how you get that, by doing a project with someone. So that can be like, building a house together or doing a garden together with someone. But it mainly more involves the act of you two going through an experience together, and conflict resolution. There's conflict intimacy too. Hey, I have a need to hang out with you more. I like you. And you see what they have to say. So that's the biggest transformation for you this month, because that is going to be quite a bit of growth, Cancer, because it's like leaving, living in your head in the clouds, or sometimes just an overthinker. Oh, you think too much, you worry too much, people might say. You're leaving that behind to recognize that there's safety and security and value in information. And information is more reliable when you ask the person directly. Are there manipulators and liars? Yes, but you know when they're lying. So don't put yourself through the headache of trying to figure it out when you could just ask them, what would make you feel more comfortable coming over and spending more time with me? Because I want to be hanging out with you more often. And it might find out something like, oh, I'm too cold there. Okay, well, let's get you a jacket. Let's turn the heater up a couple degrees. It might be an easy solvable problem. Because it looks like in the past, there'd be a little bit of taking that personal. There'd be a little bit of meaning, of making it mean something about you, or making it mean something about how they feel about you. When in reality, it's just, oh, they need a good night's sleep so that they can work. How do we make that happen where I also feel comfortable too? And that has absolutely nothing to do with how they feel about you, right? They could be crazy about you, they can like you, but if there's not compatibility meaning being able to run your day-to-day life together, then they can like you and have all the feelings of the world for you, but if it's not compatible, it's not compatible. So you got to stop taking it personal. Be willing to ask them and find a workable solution together. That's what's going to get you out of the little bit of guardedness, out of the defensiveness type of love, and into the open sharing communication. Okay, so it looks like for you guys, your biggest challenge is actually going to be about communicating this to the other person. Because you got the Page of Swords reversed, you got the Lovers upright, you got the Ace of Swords reversed. So even though it looks like you're going to become aware that this is your growth to like ask questions, and be willing to have just more deep, like I want to say deeper, more intimate conversations, but a lot of times people misconstrue that as meaning, let me tell you about my childhood. I'm not talking about that. As much as sometimes that is important, like, hey, you need to understand the reason why I got so triggered is this and this and this happened when I was younger. So we need to figure out a new way to do this so that I don't get triggered, right? So but not those conversations that drone on and on and on. Oh, you got to understand, my auntie did blah, 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 hours later. My uncle did blah, 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 hours later. My mom did blah, 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 hours later. My dad did blah, blah, blah. And at school, I was blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that's your unmet need for validation. A conversation would look like, hey, I felt extremely triggered when you did this thing. It sent me down a downward spiral that didn't feel good. I like you, I love you, but I can't feel that downward spiral again. So I need understanding, like, why did you say it that way? And even if they can give you a good reason, like, oh, I said it this way because, and there's a good reason, there's no need to self-torture yourself and go, okay, well, I just need to get over my past. I need to do more internal work. It's no, can you two come together? It's called co-regulation, guys. So there's self-soothing, there's self-regulation where you are the sole one regulating your emotions and how you feel. But there's also co-regulation in relationships with others. There's also like, hey, this is my trigger. And if they become aware of that, then they know that, like, let's say you had a traumatic experience with spiders. And if they know that, then if they walk into a room first and they see a spider, they would, instead of making you go in there and get over your fear, they would just say, hey, babe, just hang out a minute. Just hang out in the living room. Give me a couple minutes to clean their room up. And then they won't even tell you there's a spider in there. They'll go take care of it and go, okay, babe, you can come in the room now. That's like allowing yourself to lean into the safety of someone else, like looking out for you, and you also doing the same. Sometimes if you say a word, like if you're dating someone who's older and you just make a joke like, oh yeah, that's because you're like, yeah, all your wisdom. And if the person like feels something negative there, is there an active insecurity about their age within them? Yes, there absolutely is. But if you're going to be in a relationship with that person, you want them to feel good, because when they feel good, then you feel good. So you may have to, it might take time to adjust the behavior. This isn't asking you to change, right? Because there's a difference between changing your core belief system, your core values, versus changing just a habit, right? So it might be, oh, I'm so sorry I called you that again, young, handsome man. You know, like you might have to, you're going to have to deliberately change the way you say things sometimes, but like that's love, right? That's co-regulation. It's not, babe, you're only insecure about that because you have insecurity about your age. I like you because you're older. That's like being mean to them. It's the truth. They have that insecurity, but you're the one choosing to date them and be with them. So how can you just go, my dashing young man? Oh, my handsome man, right? You don't have to use age at all. You can just say, hey, handsome, how are you? Ooh, you're looking good today. Right? It's helping people with their insecurities and allowing yourself to be helped. Okay, so that's what it needs to look like, Cancer. And right now, your biggest piece is going to be the communication. And so just recognize that there's a little bit of fear of, do people actually want me? Am I wanted? Am I good enough? So law of attraction, be in a place of going general. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I'm good enough for love. 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 Love is something that I'm going to allow myself to experience. I've been experiencing love at tangled up vibrations that were actually lower. And I now allow myself to experience love at a new higher level, at a new higher vibrational level. A higher vibrational level has a better feeling, higher emotional feeling. I would like to feel better. I I would like to feel better on a day-to-day basis. And if rendezvousing with people in my life can help me feel better, then I want to start rendezvousing with relationships that just aid in the tending to my vibrations, the tending to my vortex, the tending to my emotions. I'd like to start rendezvousing with people in relationships where it feels more easeful, it feels a little smoother, it feels kinder, it feels softer, it feels gentler. I'd like to just experience more gentleness in relationships, more soothing in relationships, more ease in relationships. I just like to experience softness, kindness, sweetness, upliftment, nourishment. Someone who, when I get around them, I feel better than I did before. Someone who, when we get together, we naturally just aid in each other feeling better. There's nothing either one of us have to do, but it's just our natural inherent way of being. We're both better off when we rendezvous with each other. I'm ready to love myself, accept myself, love myself more than I ever have before. Have softer thoughts about myself, have kinder thoughts about myself. Just a smooth gentleness that's going to ease me into a better feeling day about myself. So that means my thoughts are just going to start taking on a little bit of a lighter feel, almost like the feel of a warm sun glowing down on my skin. The thoughts I have about myself are just going to start feeling like warm love. And the soothing and the softness and the kindness coming my way in all my relationships from here on out is going to continue to feel better and better and better. I love you guys. I hope that round page helped you guys. So Cancer, that's a really good month for you. Lots of good positive growth there. Leave me a comment below. Give me a thumbs up. If you guys are looking for more in-depth support that I can provide in a video, I do have some coaching spots open, a course, a mastermind, a live in-person retreat. So just send me an email, kelly@kellylunt.com. Let me know a little bit about what's going on. And I'll reach back out and we'll figure out how I can best support you for you to hit all of your goals in love and money. Love you guys. Bye.